You're just in time for Entrepreneurs Lounge, the show that highlights success stories of young Kenyan entrepreneurs under the age of 40 who are making it. We're filming at Dotage Exclusive Furniture in Westlands, your one-stop shop for all things furniture. Now, my first guest is someone very exciting. Former Tony Elumelu Fellow, Business Daily's Top 40 Under 40 winner 2017-2018, also CEO of Concepts and Events. Welcome, Mr. Cephas Gadi.
Thank you for having me.
Some would say you've made it in life.
Not really.
I'm very interested to know, what's your story?
Well, I'm just a young entrepreneur who comes from Thika. I really love that place. My friends keep asking me, why do you have to spend every weekend there? Because I guess that's really the one place that pushed me into the direction that I took. Because back home, you're surrounded by a lot of young people who are really educated. They've gone all the way to university. They're jobless. And then most of them start really small businesses that don't even go past the 1 year mark. And it really made me sad. Then my everyday wish was, I really want to get out of this place. I really want to go to Nairobi because that's where the money is, and actually succeed in life. Then I came to realize that it's really not the place, it's really about the mentality. And when I realized that, that's when I've started working on things to help young entrepreneurs and young people to change their mentality. Because we have so many people with the job-seeking mentality instead of job creation mentality. And that's the biggest problem that we have in Kenya. If you look at the statistics, it says that every year we only generate around 130,000 jobs, whereas we are Chaki count graduates 800,000 every year, and over 5 million people join the job group, the job search. So I think we really need to have a mentality shift.
Right.
Yes.
Just to dwell a little bit on the job-seeking mentality versus the job creation mentality, have you tried your hand out at employment, and what was this like for you?
Yeah, I did, and I was actually quite successful because I think I have to be the youngest principal in the history of the country, because I used to be a principal of a high school when I was, I think, 23, 24. Well, it was a private school, so yeah. But I think that was a nice experience because I really love interacting with people, but I really hated that job. I really hated it. And I realized that I don't know if that's why I became an entrepreneur, that I don't like anyone bossing me around. And secondly, I realized that my passion was not in teaching. As much as I've taught since I was in campus, my passion really was not in teaching. I love being creative. And you really can't be creative with a syllabus. You kind of have to follow it all the way through. And the reason why I got that job was because I helped them to do marketing for the organization, for a school that had 200 students all the way to 500 in 4 months. So I guess I realized that I'm good at marketing. And that's the line that I took.
Now that we're talking about some of the things that you do, just tell me about Concepts and Events.
Concepts and Events, that's a company we started with my partners called David Chalo back in 2013. But it used to be called Afrique Ventures. Then it came and we rebranded to Concepts and Events. I'm sure we're going to rebrand again soon into something much more exclusive, like, we initially were doing websites for organizations. Like, okay, sorry for that. I'm a graduate from JKUAT with a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. And so we started doing websites for schools. We used to do systems for schools. And then with time, we started going to the corporate world, asking organizations, hey, can we do your websites? Then it's from there that we met a client who was interested in an event. And they're like, so do you know guys who do events? We're like, yeah, we do events also. You know, when you're starting up, you're really adapting and adapting fast. So we were given an event. We executed it very well. And so someone who was there was from World Bank. So they're like, wow, you guys did this, yeah. We have an end of year party for our staff. We're looking for an organizer. So would you mind doing this for us? I said, yeah, sure. So we went, we executed it, we did really well. Then from there, that's when jobs started coming in because Ish, let me tell you, the moment you put World Bank as your client, I mean, even if someone looks at you and they're like, hey, you're very young, then you tell them, but I've worked for World Bank. And they say, no, you don't have experience, but I've worked for World Bank. So
Right.
basically that's like tick, tick. And that's where our event started. Yeah.
So World Bank's your first client?
I
You
think
said
second
client,
client, yes.
but still a pretty big client.
Yes.
So obviously, the demand to deliver must have been great. And you're a new business. So starting up, capital, everything that needs to be in place, were you prepared? What goes into it as an entrepreneur when you start up on this journey?
Wow, I think initially we started really nicely. Then it reached a point where I think ego got into our heads. So we started believing that we can do everything. Because I remember there's a night we had 2 events. One event was for the night, the next one was in the morning. Then both setups needed to be done at the same time. But then we felt, we are young, we are energetic, we can deliver. So, story short, we failed in both of them. Yes. And they say you can't cook 2 pots. So we failed miserably. And I think that was the biggest loss of my life, because the loss was more than 1.2 M, and I was 25, and all this money was borrowed money. And so when you go to a client and they're like, so why should we pay you yet you did not deliver? And then you go through the checklist and they're like, this one, nope, this one, nope. And then they're like, so from the budget of 2M, we're only going to pay you around 1 point something, so you guys go and sort yourself. I think that was just, it's something that we've never talked about actually.
I can still feel it in your voice. It still hurts to date.
Yes.
So now.
And then from that, we lost the biggest client we've ever had. So trust me when I tell you, it hurts. Yes.
So entrepreneurship and loss, those two things seem to, kind of work together, because they are synonymous. So then, as an entrepreneur who's dealt such a big blow when it comes to loss, what advice would you give to young people out there who are starting out, who, they feel like we got this, we can do this, where they have this ego, chest stamping? From the lessons that you've drawn, what advice you then churn out?
I'll share with you something that my mentor, Mr. Tony Elumelu, usually says. He says that if you have a long-term mindset, you won't be upset by short-term losses. Like, if your vision is this big, and then you have something this small happen to you, you'll be like, I can't lose that because of this. So for me, my vision is to support 100,000 startups in Kenya to be successful. So if my business fails, if my concept and events business fails, I still have a vision that I'm running towards. And I wouldn't give up that because of this. So basically, I think we need to have, as Kenyans and as young entrepreneurs around the world, we need to have a long-term vision. You look at someone like Jack Ma, Alibaba. That guy, he didn't have the education, he didn't have the experience, he didn't have the connections. He only had that vision. And so he says, I listened to him severally, and he says, I do not know anything about technology. I just know how to take smart people and coordinate them so that they can work together. Because he has that vision. He had that vision of helping people from his village to sell internationally so that they can reduce poverty. But most of these young people, you get into a business because you see your friend is driving something, your friend is flying out, so you want to leave. And you go into a business because of money. And so many people are like, that's why you find so many people are hopping careers. So one day you're a director, the next day you're in films, the next day you're selling tumba, the next day, because you don't have a vision. And you keep thinking that the next job is paying better. And so you're chasing the money instead of chasing the meaning. If you're chasing meaning, you will outlast all these failures. You'll be the one person who they say, ish, this person, what makes him keep on going despite, like, you've passed that place where failure brings you down. You actually look forward to the next failure because you're like, there'll be a lesson in this. Like right now, I learned from there that don't trust people 100%. Yes, it's good to trust people, but don't. As in, always make sure that you have an agreement with these people, because that event failed because we didn't have an agreement with one of the suppliers, so he messed us up.
I have to talk about the Tony Elumelu Fellowship.
Yeah.
So many people try to get in. You know the numbers. I mean, you got it. You know.
216,000.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that clarification. No mean feat. How vital was that to your entrepreneurship journey? How did that turn things around somehow for you? Was it helpful even?
Yes. I think yesterday they released the list of this year's Tony Elumelu Foundation Fellows. They've gone all the way to 3,000, and it was so sad that we only have less than 15 Kenyans on that list. I think that's really sad for me, because this is something that changed my life. I used to do entrepreneurship in Kenya. We call it kawaida. Ile tu ya kawaida. You just wake up, you run. You don't even have books of accounts. You don't have a business plan. You don't know your target market. You don't know your niche. So we had a 12-week training, online training for 12 weeks on everything about running a business, all the way from starting up till scaling, funding, all that. So I think it was very instrumental. Then I got to go to Nigeria and meet amazing entrepreneurs from all of Africa. You know, we think that Kenya is the epitome of everything, technology, nini. No, we are not. There's so much that we can learn from out there. Yes. So it was very nice. It was very awesome. Yeah.
And it didn't stop there. Winner of Business Daily's. Are you feeling shy right now? Top 40, under 40, 2017, 2018. Such validation.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this.
I think, recently a lot of people have been talking badly about the award because that's what Kenyans do. Yeah.
That's what people do.
Exactly. Like if you can't get to the fruits, you start saying, "Oh, those fruits are bad. Oh, I'm sure they didn't even taste nicely." I think it's not small feat. For someone who started with 1,500 shillings as my initial capital to now running around 4 enterprises, and it's no mean feat. It's no small feat. And it was really, I think, one of the highlights of my life was winning the Top 40 Under 40 in 2017, and then winning it again in 2018, something that only one person has done it, that's Dashan Chandaria. And so to be in the same league as Dashan is, I know, but we're not bragging, we're just saying.
No, brag. Please brag.
No, I'm just saying, it just kind of, funny thing is that both awards came at a time when I was at the lowest in my life. I had lost meaning in what I was trying to do, because I had been severely frustrated when I was trying to do the Young Entrepreneurs Expo. And this is my child, this is something that I really love. And then some of our partners really frustrated us. And I remember talking to someone telling me, I'm done with this entrepreneurship thing. I am completely done. And then I get a call and they're like, "Hi, how are you? We're calling you from Business Daily." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm not doing an interview." And they're like, "No, we're telling you, you've been nominated for the Top 40 Under 40. I'm like, "Really? Why?"
And you said why?
Yes, I asked them, so why? Because personally, I did not see.
You're like, there's no way.
I'm like, why? They're like, "Yeah, you started something called My Hustle." I'm like, "Yes." "How is it?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's gaining traction, but yeah." So they're like, "Yeah, we felt that this is one of the biggest things that has happened in Kenya in this year." So My Hustle is a platform where, say you're driving in Kisumu, then your car breaks down. You don't know anyone there. So you just go to the app, and then you're like, pop, I'm looking for a mechanic. It brings you the list of mechanics in Kisumu. Okay? So say you're at your house, you're a lady, you see a bug and you kind of feel scared to kill it. So you can go there and you can look for an exterminator. Say you want a carpenter, you want a plumber. It's something very basic.
Very practical.
Yes. So for me, I thought this is something, yes, it's a good idea, but it's not that good. But guys were like, wow, this is something that actually can create employment for young people. Instead of always seeking employment, you can just sign up, and then you'll get to work in your own hours. You'll get to charge within your range. And so for me, it was just normal. But we found it exciting because in the first month of rolling out, we had more than 2,000 subscriptions. So I guess that really came back and challenged me like, hey, my friend, your 100,000 target, you still own. You can actually do this. Yes.
Did you say you started your first business with 1,500 shillings?
Yes.
And now you have 4 enterprises? Yes. I have to ask, you're obviously making money. You started with 1,500, you have 4 enterprises. Yeah. When did you make that first profit? When did you feel like, okay, you know what? I'm leaning back, it's worth it.
I think after the very first event, yes, we made a huge loss because the first event I think that's been the first event we did. We made a loss of almost 500,000, and we continued. So I think my biggest break was I went with World Bank. Then the next biggest break was when Garden City was launching, and so they actually reached out to us to help them launch. And so we did the marketing part. I remember one of the directors called me at night. She was like, I had given someone a tender to print for me 10,000 booklets. And so they failed me. Is it possible for you to deliver it by tomorrow morning? I'm like, yeah, sure, I can do that. 10,000 copies. Okay, so how much are you going to charge me? I'm like, my friend, this is a time to make a killing. Boom. Yeah. So I charged her very nicely. And we went to
very nicely for you.
We went to River Road. We found someone whose printing machine was on. We printed the whole night. We folded the things. In the morning by 7 a.m. we were there. By the time they were opening the door at 8, they were like, wow, you guys delivered. I'm like, yeah, that's what we do.
So clearly perseverance, aggression is one of the key ingredients for entrepreneurship. Yes. I mean, I feel like we've touched a bit on it, but I have to be sure for a fact. You mentioned that your lowest point is that time you lost that huge chunk of money. And you've had some pretty high moments, like where you've made things work. But what would you say is your greatest achievement?
My greatest achievement, I think, apart from my children, yes, in entrepreneurship. I think my greatest achievement has been the Young Entrepreneurs Expo. Because since we started it in 2014, we've had more than 6,500 entrepreneurs come for these events. And sometimes you get to meet some of these people. They're like, after the expo, I decided to start up. I was looking for employment, but I decided to start up. And now I have like 5 employees. I'm doing really well. Then you see stories of guys who came for the expo. Later on, they've been awarded all over the world, like a lady called June Siowe. She's doing amazingly well. And the time I met her, she was just in campus. She was just starting out. And right now, she's even much more further than I am, and I really love that. I think that's my greatest achievement. I'm yet to reach 100,000 young entrepreneurs. That's really what I'm pushing for. So I'm just at 6,500. That's 94,500 to go. Yeah.
You're really doing amazing things, not just for yourself, but for the community. So we'll now take a quick break, but don't go anywhere, because when we return, we'll be back with more from Cephas as well as My Second Entrepreneur. Don't go anywhere.
Know about business terms is something I love doing.
You've heard of the word debit. This one I know you know.
We
are keen on actively playing our role in positioning Kenya as an investment hub for East and Middle Africa.
Welcome back to Entrepreneurs Lounge. Now, my next guest had a really big passion for rugby, but not enough resources to buy the paraphernalia and branded items that come with the love of the game. She then decided that one day, just one day, should start up her own clothing and branding line. Welcome Rebecca Koyo, proprietor of Koyo Designs. You're welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you for having me.
tell me about Koyo Designs. How did it start? How are we where we are today?
Well, Koyo Designs started back in 2014 while I was at my field attachment at Kari. I used to school at Egerton University. I was doing an agricultural course. But then at the university, I was among the rugby fans at school. So we'd go for rugby events, we'd go watch games and stuff like that. So there was this particular brand who used to sell t-shirts at the rugby tournaments. I'd sit down, watch the way they'd sell, the way people would buy their stuff, and I'd tell myself, one day I know this is going to be me. Then there was this particular day, I think all my friends had their t-shirts, but I could not afford. So that, I think, was enough motivation for me to start my own label one day. So there was this time I was at my attachment at Kari Kisii. I was reading a book. It's called Tough Times Never Last, but Tough People Do. There was a particular story about a woman who was struggling so much. Then she decided one day, she didn't have even a single coin. So she'd go, I think, looking for material from people, then making clothes, and eventually she'd even sell to well-known people. Then I told myself, I feel like this book is really speaking to me. I got up, I went to the market. It was a market in Kisii, a small market there. I looked for a hoodie and a plain t-shirt. Then from there I went to look for someone who could do branding for me. I found one guy, though the quality was not so good. So I decided to settle on him because there was no any other option. So I did. I made my first hoodie and my first t-shirt. Then I used to ambush my friends like, hey, I have a t-shirt for you. I know you play rugby. I have a t-shirt for you. You need to buy it. They had no option but to buy. So that's how I made my first sale, I can say. But the quality was not very good. After my attachment, I came back to Nairobi. Now I told myself I really need to do this thing because I feel that this is my passion. I looked for somewhere I can do branding in Nairobi. Of course, Nairobi, you know, there are better machines. The quality is better. I could get t-shirts in bulk from no, at that time I was still buying single pieces. So I could get better quality of t-shirts. I went and I bought like 2 t-shirts and then I branded them. The quality was much better. I had already made a logo. I had already designed a logo and my slogan was "Rugby is the truth." So I did that. Then I approached my friends again and told them, you guys, I have t-shirts for you. I know the other ones were not so good, but now I have better t-shirts for you. So that's how my brand started growing. I'd sell to rugby. At that time, it was only specifically rugby. So I did that. I think I sold very many rugby t-shirts until I was there sitting like, okay, I've sold all the rugby t-shirts to my friends. So what's next? I decided to think outside the box. And I decided to not only do the Rugby is the Truth as a slogan and as a brand, but now focus on customization in general. So then I started doing bomber jackets. I started doing sweatpants, sweatsuits in full. I started doing, people would come and approach me like, hey, can you make a robe? And I'd say, yes, I can do that. Even that I had never tried. But I just believe in myself. I told them, yeah, I can do that. After quoting for them the price, I go and look for a tailor, we do it, deliver, and the people are impressed. So I grew like that as time went by. I started making even caps, mugs, capes, yeah.
So now yours is a strictly online business, right?
Yes, yes.
And actually that makes sense because a lot of people, a lot of commerce is shifting to the electronic platform. However, there's the issue of advertising and visibility. How are you handling that in your business, and what role is advertising playing in, just the success of your business?
I think among the first things that made my brand become known very much was word of mouth. Like someone would buy a t-shirt, someone will see you with a t-shirt and ask you, hey, where did you get this? And then they'll refer you to me. Another thing was Facebook has a platform where if you're having an online market or you're doing online business, you can pay for ads and then it is advertised for you. That's also played a major role for me. Yeah, I think those are the 2 major things, word of mouth and the Facebook ads that have really pushed Koyo Designs as a brand. Yes.
You already mentioned that your business started off, at a rocky point because you didn't have the resources. The first person you tried to do your branding did a shoddy job. What would you say has been your greatest setback when it comes to the business, like your biggest trying moment?
Okay, when I was starting, for example, the quality was one of the setbacks. Like I have people who bought my first products who have never wanted to buy my products again because they think that that is the same quality they're going to get. But there are some I've convinced and told them now we have better quality. So that was the main setback. The other thing was running an online business. Most people, like for me, you have to pay a deposit before we make for you the product. So most people, you know, the way Kenya is nowadays, there are so many people who are not genuine. So it was hard for someone to actually believe like, if I pay this person a deposit, she's going to deliver. That was another setback. The other one was, since I'm majorly online based, people will not come and fit. Like you just order something and then it's delivered to you. You have not fit. You don't know if it's going to fit you. But as time has gone by, I think people have gained some trust in me. Like they're seeing the page grow. They've never seen anyone complaining on my page like your quality is bad. So I think that plays a major role for me. Like, yeah, people have faith in me.
And you're obviously doing an amazing job, which is why you've managed to diversify from, you know, just Koyo Designs, which was focusing on rugby, to everything that you're doing right now.
Thank you.
So in line with that, what would you say has been your greatest achievement? From when you started off in KC with Koyo Designs branded with paint to where you are right now, what's your most proud moment?
My most proud moment was when a big company, I don't really want to mention the name, approached me to make for their staff college jackets. So I was just seated there and thinking to myself, this dream just started the other day in Kisii. I was just seated somewhere, and now there's this company calling me to make for the whole staff college jackets. That kind of pushed me also, told me, like, this thing is really for you, you can do it. That was, I think, my highest moment. And then I have those small high moments where you deliver to a client, then they call you back to say, thank you, I love the quality, it fit perfectly, you're very friendly compared to other people. So those are small wins that I usually celebrate, like, every day.
No, of course, they're worth celebrating.
Yeah.
So 10 years from now, because I'm certain from this conversation, Koyo Designs will still be around 10 years from now.
Sure, yes.
What's the long-term plan? What's your dream?
My dream is to have a shop eventually, although I'm not really focusing on a shop right now because I'm leaning more towards the online space. But I want to have a shop where you can come buy your t-shirt, you can come get your jacket, you can come get your sweatsuit, and then you can get your shoes also there, you can get your jeans or your skirt. So I'm leaning towards that, having a big place where we have the jeans there, you have, like, it's all under one roof. You get everything you want. You get your shirt, jeans, shoes. You can walk out of that place fully dressed. Yeah.
Finally, what's the one final thing? Who's your mentor? That person you look up to, that person you're grateful for, that person who just, you feel, in whether you know them or not, in a way has played a vital role to bringing Koyo Designs to where it is right now.
My family has been my biggest support so far, and my friends who I host to buy my stuff. Up to now, they still come back because they know the quality. Those are the people who have been they push me so much. Yes, and then there are people who I look up to, like the founder of Vivo. She's called Wandia Gishuru. Yeah, because I'm so much into fashion. I also have a different page for dresses, yes. So I look so much up to her. Like one day I know I'm going to have something on the side, like for dresses particularly, not for Koyo Designs and t-shirt. I really look up to her. And then also Olive Gashara. There are women who are in fashion industry and making it big. So I really look up to them. I know one day I'm going to be where they are.
Amen. You can join in on the conversation on our social media pages at Metropole TV KE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're now going to go right into our quickfire round. Kefas.
Yes.
Rebecca, the way this works is I'm going to ask you 5 questions, general questions, trivia questions. You have 5 seconds to answer these questions. First correct answer gets a point. At the end of each round, at the end of the entire quickfire, I'll crown our quickfire king or queen.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how it works. No questions? We'll get right into it. Quickfire question number 1. What's Kenya's current GDP? You want me to repeat this? Quick fire question number 1. Kenya's current GDP. 5 seconds, guys. Take a wild guess.
More than 5 trillion.
Say, you can tell me in dollars.
Okay, that will be 5 trillion. 50 billion US dollars.
No, 74.94 billion US dollars. Yes.
So I missed by 25.
Which is a huge miss, if you ask me. Question number 2. What's the net worth of the richest man in Africa?
Aliko Dangote.
Yes.
$20 billion. I missed.
Your guess? Billion US dollars. So I feel like everyone will get a point for the next question because who's Africa's richest man, and you both.
No idea.
Okay, actually, she gets a point. Aliko Dangote. 1 point for Rebecca. No points for Kefas. Question number 3.
I said it fast.
Aliko Dangote. Wow. Kefas, you're not even trying. Rebecca. 2 points for Rebecca. 0 points for Kefas. Question number 4.
Kylie Jenner.
Who is currently, yeah, this one's yours. Who is currently the world's richest person?
Jeff Bezos.
That's it. 1 point for Kefas, 2 points for Rebecca. The ladies are doing well. Final question and deciding question. So if you get this right, it will be a tie and we'll have both a king and a queen. If you get it wrong, I'm sorry. Rebecca is our winner. Final and deciding question. What is the business capital of the world?
Business capital of the world.
Yes. 5 seconds. What is the biggest capital of the world?
New York.
No.
Shanghai.
No.
Ooh.
London.
Oh.
That's it. Rebecca, you're today's quickfire winner. Good job. Good job. You tried, Kefas. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Entrepreneurs Lounge. Today's entrepreneurs have taught us one thing. With the right vision, with the right passion, with the right aggression, with the right endurance, you can make it in this cutthroat entrepreneurship world. You can join the conversation on our social media pages at Metropole TV KE on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'm your host, Ingrid Nantege. Special thanks to Dotage Exclusive Furniture in Westlands, home of everything furniture. Do join us again next week for Entrepreneurs Lounge.